Well, before we get to the match that went on last, all of a sudden, they get a big wide shot of the arena, and we hear bong, the Undertaker's gong. And I'm like, oh, okay, this will be cool. And then that's all we heard of the Undertaker's gong. Then it kicked into that rotten American bad music, and here came the Great Value Undertaker, the motorcycle riding version instead of the dead man version, out on his motorcycle with his do-rag, and he rode to ringside, where it just so happened, Brian, completely by random chance, Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan were sitting in the front row of ringside, totally unaware that this was going to take place. And Undertaker climbed over the rail and took a microphone and sat down next to her and started interviewing her. And they started trying to, it wasn't a comedy routine. Would you term it more? They were trying to do witty repartee or snappy patter back and forth with each other. Would that be kind of the description?
In between some awkward long periods of time where he's just standing in front of her and she's just clapping at him.
Yes.
While he's standing there with the microphone, you're waiting for anything to happen.
It's a little awkward. It wasn't funny. And it was not smooth. And as they did mention, they've been friends for years and years. So one would have thought they could have worked something a little bit better out to fill 45 seconds. But anyway, then he announces, are you ready? The first member of the 2026 WWE Hall of Fame will be none other than Stephanie McMahon. And she was overcome with the emotion to hear this, that she had no idea was coming. She just happened to be sitting there on the front row like she usually does.
They've never announced it in September before, ever. It's WrestleMania. Usually in April, usually in March, we're still trying to guess who the last people are going to be.
They don't call people till Christmas. When I presented for the Rock and Roll Express, it was Christmas week that any of us knew about it. But there is no business reason why, oh my God, I was completely uninterested in the Hall of Fame next year now, but holy shit, now that they've announced Stephanie's going to be in it, it's changed my whole outlook. To announce it 6-7 months in advance to that it's Stephanie, and again, a lot of pony winning going on around here. When you know who won the pony? I guess what I'm saying is they can't really say that it was a big thing. Like on our WrestlePalooza first ESPN show, we wanted to announce that Randy Orton or Steve Austin or a major name past or present, Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, weird timing unless they're going to change the date of the Hall of Fame, which they may have to do unless they're going to start flying legends to Saudi Arabia in a couple of years.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. I mean, it's one thing to go to Las Vegas, but do you think any of these guys are going to go to Saudi Arabia to get a fucking ring?
And hopefully be able to take it home, but you never really know. You never know.
You might have to take the ring and shove it up their ass to get it home.
There's been a concerted effort. If you like Stephanie McMahon or not, you can't deny it. There's been a concerted effort to babyface her on WWE programming and also give her something to do. There was no demand for a Stephanie McMahon podcast. They hyped the shit out of it. There was no demand for conversations with Stephanie. She just needed something to do. She's been all over the show. We've seen, when I say all over the show, just random appearances, like Stephanie McMahon's in the crowd or Stephanie McMahon's here, all presented as like a way to, let's just give her an applause, because
it's like they're floating her here and there. You're getting used to seeing her. She's all over the place. Nobody's got any picket signs, so she's one of the good ones. They're whitewashing members of the McMahon family.
Yeah, and she's about to be the first member of the McMahon family next to Vince Sr. in the Hall of Fame. I don't even know if Jess McMahon's in the Hall of Fame. I'd have to check.
I don't think they did.
And he probably shouldn't be if we're talking about wrestling promoters, to be quite honest with you. But it is the WWE Hall of Fame, not the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
But you said Stephanie needs something to do. Why do you need something to do when you got that much fucking money? Who wants more shit to do?
Maybe she doesn't have hobbies. Maybe her whole life has been based around her father and mother's business, that she never developed any skills. Maybe she should take a knitting class.
Boy, in that case, then I'd be running off to a fucking South Pacific island where I could hang out next to the coconut trees, buck-ass naked all day and fucking diddle myself. If I'd have been in that family all these years, just working.
Were they known for taking vacations?
No. Not Vince. I didn't keep track of Linda's comings and goings, but no, it was famous. Vince. That was their name when they teamed up for Tony Khan, Lince. No, Linda might go somewhere. I don't fucking know, but Vince was famous. About 10 days at Christmas, when they used to take a break, he would go to his mansion in, where is it, Fort Lauderdale or that part of Florida, the $12 million place that he spent 2 weeks a year in, and he'd make phone calls and do paperwork down there. That was his vacation.
Again, it's an interesting decision doing this here. I mean, I can't imagine she didn't know something was up. I know they tried to play it off like it was just a gigantic surprise. Why was she sitting ringside there as the Undertaker? What did they think the Undertaker was going to do? And Nick Khan came over quickly to give her a hug because obviously he was in on the whole thing.
He was working security over there too.
But yeah, there's definitely a movement to make Stephanie McMahon an asset of the company and protect her and make her happy.
Well, and for all the things she's done to make all of us happy, it's just a small price to pay.
And to be quite honest, if we're going based on WWE, I'm not saying she's undeserving. Michelle McCool was undeserving. Stephanie McMahon, if we're talking about big stars on WWE TV, for good or for bad,
yeah,
she's deserving of being in their Hall of Fame, absolutely.
And I agree with you on the McCool comparison, and I also agree with you on in the WWE universe. Yes, she is a level of talent. I don't think they needed to introduce it or announce it 6 months ahead of time, and I think they could have done a better job than have Undertaker come out there, and he's not Phil Donahue. I mean, it's the Undertaker. He can't just go and interview random people. So, Stephanie, let me just, it's the Undertaker. He's hurting his image when he comes out and acts like a normal person and doesn't have anything interesting to say. That's, the problem.
And by the way, we just got a question on the Drive-Thru the other day, it must have been the Drive-Thru. We got a question about, is the Undertaker the biggest stooge of all time? And you said no. And then the next time we see him, he's giving Vince McMahon's daughter a Hall of Fame induction. So I don't know.
I swear to God, how the worms have turned. I said, no, he's not a stooge. He just stood up for business and what was right. But he didn't go around telling on people and just fucking saying, yes, sir. And now, yeah. We got a lot of bad feedback on that one. A lot of fucking people now mad at Undertaker. He's a fucking stooge.